All right, let's get on the record. It is 8:55 a.m. on July 10, 2025. This is the first regular docket of the Oil Conservation Division's hearings by affidavit. And without further ado, let us begin with FAE operating. They have two cases before us this morning, 25422 and 25426. Entries of appearance, please.
Good morning, hearing examiners Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of FAE2 Operating, LLC.
Good morning, Ms. McLean.
It's Miss Hardy. Apologies.
I'm sorry.
and I'm sorry I'm not there in
Isn't that
person.
Good morning, Ms. Hardy.
Good
Were you going to say
morning.
something about other parties?
We do not have any other parties in this.
All right, very good. Before you begin, we have Mr. Getz. He's our technical examiner for these two cases. And he's going to give you some input on these two cases. Mr. Getz?
Thank you. Good morning, Miss Hardy.
Good morning.
Okay, you can hear me. That's good. We're both remote. I'm going to make your day a little bit worse. What I'm going to advise and I'm going to request out of you, or I will do it, is that these applications for the North Jaw and South Jaw be dismissed at this point and refiled. My concerns in the discussion with other staff members is that we've got kind of half of an application here. We've expanded, but we have not contracted. And even if you were to take a look at the great Umont gas pool and the Umont Monument South Unit expansion, we need both sides of that application to address the expansion and contraction. And so I'm recommending that you refile it, that 40 Acres refile it. We will work with you to provide a full application, and that will have very few difficulties in it. My concern is that if, do you remember the Byron's reports that used to come out? If you go and look at the Langley-Maddox references to the pools, there's 2 pages of orders in there. And my concern, especially with the South Jaw, is that what we're going to do is create something that's going to cause even more anguish with 40 acres, in the sense that if you come in and ask for a perfing of holes based upon the pool description that's currently available, then staff in the administrative review process group of the Engineering Bureau are going to have a difficult time. And I think this is one of the things that I highlighted about this effort with 40 Acres is the fact that you're trying to bring together something that is old and has numerous flaws in it. So I'm anticipating that we will have to cooperate a little bit more and provide more information to you folks to get an application for both together that addresses both expansion and contraction, and therefore give us a real order. So I put that on the table before you. The other item that I will bring up is that in review of the applications, it'd be nice to have a little more exhibits providing some sort of visual explanation of what's being contracted and expanded, and get away from the bubbles and the squares. That just doesn't cut it for folks that reviewed the application. In the other portion of the application, reviewing the notice, I found that both the North and South Jaw applications was sufficient, in the sense that if you reuse the same parties, that should not be an issue. So my recommendation to the examiner is the dismissal of both cases, and that way we will refile and we will get this done properly.
Thank you, Mr. Getz. And I have some questions, and I know that Joe Kent with 40 Acres, I believe, is on, and I don't know if 40 Acres has any questions or if they understand exactly what we need here. I can also communicate with you. I see Joe. Mr. Kent, do you understand what we need to provide here?
Yeah, I mean, as long as, like Mr. Getz said, that the NMOCD is willing to work with us to tell us what they exactly they want to further assist them in reviewing this. We can just follow up on those items outside of this forum.
And I think this is the way to go. We have not communicated very effectively, but certainly there are a lot of things going on with OCD currently. And this is a nightmare. So for the Langley Maddox, let's make these two units very clean in the order. And unfortunately, I can't put into content items that I think should be in there unless you ask for them. That's just the way it works. So I recommend to the examiner that both these cases be dismissed. You may do it or we may do it, and then we will talk and meet and we will get out a content that addresses all the issues.
So, Ms.
Thank
Hardy, now with that explanation from Mr. Getz, will you file a motion to dismiss these cases and then work with Mr. Getz before you refile the new cases?
Yes, we will do that, Mr. Examiner.
All right, thank you. We're off the record. Unless there's anything else, Ms. Hardy, we're off the record in these cases.
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm now calling Mewbourne Oil cases. There are two that are consolidated together. 25234, 25235. Entries of appearance, please.
Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of Mewbourne Oil Company.
Thank you.
And there are several other parties in these cases.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy.
Good morning, Michael Rodriguez with Civitas Permian Operating. And we withdrew our objection in exchange for Mewbourne removing Civitas from these polling proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Darren Savage with Aberdeen and Schill, appearing on behalf of Devon Energy Production Company, and we had an objection and we withdrawn it, as well as the competing applications.
Thank you, Mr. Savage.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Carrie Hatley entering her appearance on behalf of COG Operating and Concho Oil and Gas, monitoring only. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hadley. Ms. Hardy?
Thank you. In these cases, Mewbourne seeks an order pooling all uncommitted interest in the Wolf Camp and Bone Spring formations underlying 1,121 acre, more or less, non-standard horizontal spacing units comprised of all of Section 33 and the northwest quarter and south half of Section 34, Township 21 South, Range 26 East in Eddy County. Case number 25234 involves the Wolf Camp. Case number 25235 involves the Bone Spring. These spacing units will be dedicated to the Buffalo Nickel 3334 FedCom wells, and Mewbourne is seeking approval of the non-standard spacing units administratively. Our exhibit packets include the self-affirmed statements of landman Braxton Blanford and geologist Charles Crosby, both of whom have previously testified before the division and been recognized as experts in their respective fields. Mr. Blanford provides the standard land exhibits. The tract ownership and pooled parties are identified in Exhibit A3. And Mr. Crosby provides a location map, structure map, and cross-section. The notice information is included in Exhibit C. Notice was timely mailed on March 7th, 2025, and was timely published on February 27th, 2025. With that, unless there are questions, I request that the exhibits be admitted into the record and that the cases be taken under advisement. Thank you.
Okay, without objection, the exhibits are admitted into the record. Mr. McClure?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I do have questions for the landman in these cases.
Okay. Ms. Hardy, do you want to get your landman on the screen?
Mr. Blanford. I see that he is on. There he is. I can see him.
Can you see me?
I do now. I see you, sir. Would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, would you state and spell your name for the record?
Braxton Blandford, Braxton Blandford.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Have you been previously qualified by this division as an expert?
I have
In what field?
land.
Okay, very good. Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Blandford, what is the status of the northeast quarter of section 34?
It's open fed.
Meaning that it's not leased yet, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the reason that it's being left off of this proposed unit, well, let me back up. Well, what is the reason that it's being left off this proposed unit?
My understanding is that we don't anticipate it being on a lease sale anytime soon, given its proximity to Carlsbad. That's my understanding.
Okay, approximately how many miles are we from Carlsbad for this proposed unit? Just an approximate. Like, is it a mile, or is it half a mile, or is it 10 miles?
I think it's somewhere around a mile.
Okay. If I can direct your attention to your exhibit A3, it should be page 20 of 52.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh, it looks like Miss Hardy might have it up. Yeah, I think Miss Hardy has it on the screen there.
Okay.
Or whoever's sharing, I guess.
That is me.
Thank you, Miss Hardy. Do you see down there where it says Mewbourne Oil Company et al.?
Oh, yes, sir.
Does that include additional persons, or does that include persons in addition to Mewbourne in that description?
It would have been parties that have signed our JOA and, you know, our ownership and standing we have along with parties that have signed the JOA.
Okay, and if I tell you that we're going to need to see a full breakdown of all the persons and their percentages, do you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Branford. I have no further questions, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Okay, Mr. McClure, what do you want the party to, or the applicant to provide?
We're going to need to see an amended exhibit A3 to include that full breakout of interest.
Okay, Mr. Blandford, when would you be able to have that to us?
I can have that by the end of the day.
All right, it's going to require a further review, so these cases will have to be continued to the next docket to allow the technical examiner to review them. Is there anything else, Mr. McClure, that you need besides an amended A3?
That's everything I need, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
All right. Okay, so Ms. Hardy, these cases will be continued till the next hearing by affidavit docket so that Mr. McClure can review the amended A3, and if we have any further questions on them, we'll be able to ask at the next hearing by affidavit docket.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. And just for clarity, will they be automatically continued, or do I need to file a motion?
You need to file a motion.
Okay, we will do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And Freya, it's August what?
7th.
August 7th. Thank you. All right, we're off the record in those cases. Let's move on to Another Mewborn case, 25288. Entry of appearance, please.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant, Mewborn Oil Company.
Thank you. Can you turn on a microphone and say that again so we catch it on the record?
Sayer on behalf of Brad Butte Sayer, representing Cotera.
Would you spell your name for the court reporter?
It's MATTHISSAYER.
Did you file an objection?
No, we did not.
Are you just monitoring?
Correct.
All right, sounds good. Ms. Vance?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. And I did just notice that our pooling exhibit has the et al. As well. So I just emailed my landman. But I would like to go ahead and present the case. And then that way we can just deal with that issue down the road. So in this case, Mewborn seeks to pool the interests in a non-standard 1,920 acre, more or less horizontal well spacing unit in the Bone Spring Formation, and the pool is the Pearl Bone Spring East, and the pool code is 49690, and that is underlying all of sections 8, 17, and 20 in Township 19 South, Range 36 East, and that's in Lee County, New Mexico. And I will note that Mewborn is filing a administrative application separately for the non-standard spacing unit approval. And Mewborn seeks to initially dedicate this spacing unit to the high seas 820 FEDCOM 522H, 524H, 526H, and 528H. And then we have provided in the hearing packet, I did file a revised hearing packet that has a updated CPAC that shows that Cotera made an entry of appearance and also included the overhead costs in there. We have a copy of the application as well as the landman statement from landman Peyton Warren, who has previously testified before the division. We also included a revised C-102s that show that they have been surveyed, or that the plats have been surveyed. And then we did do a revised pooling exhibit because we filed this back in March and Mewborn has reached agreement with a couple of parties. So we updated who we in fact are pooling or seeking to pool in this case. In addition, we have the statement from geologist Charles Crosby, who has previously testified, along with all of the required geology exhibits. And then following that is my self-affirmed statement of notice with a sample letter of the notice that went out timely March 21st, 2025, and then an affidavit of notice of publication that was timely published on March 27th. 2025. And hopefully I headed off the question from Mr. McClure, unless the division has any other questions. I would ask that we at least be able to correct that issue with the pooling exhibit, but otherwise that the division takes this under advisement. Thank you.
Okay, so you're asking for the exhibits to be admitted into evidence?
Yes.
Okay. Without objection, the exhibits are admitted into evidence. Mr. McClure, questions?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, yeah, the only question I'd had would have been in regards to the Mewborn Oil Company et al. And it seems Ms. Vance has already preemptively kind of put on record that they intend to update that summary of interest. Is that correct, Ms. Vance?
Yes, I just emailed the landman.
Okay. In addition to that, Ms. Vance, since we're going to have to submit an amended exhibit packet anyway, it'll probably be worthwhile to remove the duplicate copy of the summary of contacts that's included in the current exhibit packet. Well, I guess I should back up. It's not really a duplicate. It looks like the original version is there, but then the new version is also there.
Okay. Yeah, I can clean that up. That's not a problem.
Very good. And then one additional thing, which is, I guess, is of more importance that we would have had to get some sort of new submission for anyway, also would be on the CPAC, at least the version that's uploaded doesn't appear to have a signature on it. So if we could get a signature added to that as well when you upload it.
No problem.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Vance. Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I have nothing further on these cases, or this case, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. McClure. So, Ms. Vance, the amended Exhibit C2 will need further review from the technical team. So please submit the amended exhibit packet and please move this case to the August 7 hearing by affidavit docket for that review and possible questions.
Would it be possible, since I will be here next Tuesday, to have this case heard on that date? I believe that this is one where Mewburn has some lease.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. McClure, are you the reviewer next Tuesday?
Yes, I am, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Okay. Ms. Vance brought up a valid request. If we could possibly hear that case, when would you have the revisions in, Ms. Vance?
I am hoping to have them in by tomorrow.
As long as you submit them by tomorrow to give Mr. McClure time to review the additional, the corrected packet, because he has a lot of other things to review for next week as well.
Mhm.
And Mr. McClure, is that okay with you?
That's fine with me, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
I will. Oh, I'm sorry.
So Ms. Vance, you'll continue this case to the 15th. Submit the amended exhibit packet no later than 5 p.m. tomorrow. If it's later than that, then it won't be heard that day.
Understood.
Is there anything further on this case?
No.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Mr. McClure. Thank you, Ms. Vance. We're off the record in this case. Let's go on to COG operating. We have two cases, 25349, 25350. Entry of appearance, please.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant, COG operating.
Mr. Examiner Jim Bruce representing MRC Hat Mesa and MRC Royalties.
Mr. Bruce, did you or did your clients object?
No.
You just monitoring?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Vance?
Yes, we previously presented this case in June, and we are just here to submit the revised hearing packets. I updated the CPAC with the correct pool code, and then also updated the geology exhibits to reflect the correct spacing for these applications.
Okay, so let's get your packet admitted into evidence.
May I would ask that the division take the hearing packets, sorry, it's been a long week. I'd like to admit the exhibits into evidence. Thank you.
Without objection. Mr. McClure, any questions on this case, these two cases?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, my understanding is Mr. Fordyce has reviewed the revised exhibits and at the division has no further requests or questions.
Okay, and I'm hearing.
So yes, long answer short, yes, I do believe we can take it under advisement.
Okay, very good. And I was hearing another voice while Mr. McClure was speaking. Is there someone who wants to enter an appearance or an objection? No, okay. Ms. Vance, it looks like we can take these cases under advisement at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to Riley Permian. This is number 8 on our docket, 25358. Entry of appearance, please.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Miguel Suazo with Beatty and Wozniak appearing today on behalf of Riley Permian.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Jordan Kessler entering an appearance on behalf of EOG Resources monitoring this case.
Thank you, Ms. Kessler.
And good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of Matador Production Company. We are just monitoring the cases as well.
Thank you. Mr. Suazo?
Yes, Good morning again. On behalf of Riley, who's requesting an application to approve a standard horizontal spacing unit consisting of 481.47 acres, more or less, comprised of the north half of Section 12, Township 18 South, Range 26 East, and the northwest quarter of Section 7, Township 18 South, Range 27 East in Eddy County. This application consists of 4 wells, the Marty Fee 11-7, 1H through 4H, that are producing in the Red Lake and Glorieta Yeso formations. The exhibit packet was filed on July 3rd, and Exhibit A is the compulsory pooling administrative checklist. Exhibit B is the application filed on April 8th, and the proposed notice of hearing filed on April 24th of this year. Exhibit C is the affidavit of senior landman Mark Smith, who has previously testified before the division, and his qualifications have been accepted and made a matter of record. Exhibit C1 through C6 are the standard suite of land exhibits, location maps, ownership of the parties being pooled, well proposals. And Exhibit D is the affidavit of senior geologist Doug Standard, who has also testified before the division. His qualifications have been accepted and made a matter of record. And he is sponsoring exhibits D1 through D5, the standard suite of geology exhibits, base map, subsea structure, gun barrel diagram, and isopac map. Exhibit E is the notice affidavit showing the notice letters were mailed on April 18th, 2025, and again on June 10th, 2025, to the interested parties. It includes mailing receipts and was published in the Carlsbad Current Argus. And with that, I would like to request the exhibits be admitted into the record, and unless there's any questions, that this case be taken under advisement.
Okay, without objection, Mr. McClure?
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I will have questions for the landman in this case.
Did you call your landman?
Yes, Mark Smith should be online. If he could please go on camera.
You guys not seeing me?
I see you. Would you raise your right hand, Mr. Smith? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. State and spell your name for the record.
My name is Mark Smith, MarkSmith.
Mr. Smith, can you get closer to your microphone or do something to speak louder so we can hear you? But I did catch barely what you said. Have you been previously accepted as an expert by this division?
Yes, I have.
Perfect. What field?
In the matters of land.
Land. Thank you, sir. Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Smith, if I can draw your attention to your exhibit C4, it should be on page 25 of 72.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on this list, it's a breakdown, or it's a table. It has a couple persons identified as committed and additional persons identified as uncommitted. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes, sir.
Is it accurate to say that each person on that list that's identified as uncommitted is the entirety of the persons that the applicant is requesting the division to force pool in this case?
Yes, sir. That would be accurate.
Okay. Now, can I draw your attention to, I guess, the previous page, page 24 of 72? This is exhibit C3, your track map.
Yes.
On this map, it looks like you're only identifying a single track. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Is all of the interests across that track identical?
They are not. There are 22 separate ownership tracks within this unit itself. There's over 200 mineral owners. This is an old development area that was established, residential development that was established in the 1920s that actually never went into effect. It's very cut up. So I did describe it as tract 1 simply because it was extremely broken up. and it would have been a little bit difficult to describe on a plat of this nature. Because there's a lot of little residential lots throughout.
Now, Mr. Smith, did I hear your testimony correctly that you said there's several hundred mineral interest owners? Is that correct?
That is correct.
And is the breakdown of that interest depicted anywhere on your, oh, let me backtrack. Are these unleased mineral interest owners?
No, the bulk of them are leased. There's only about roughly 5.9 unleased acres within the whole unit.
Okay, so of those unleased mineral interest owners, that would be the 5 persons that's listed on page 27. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so then you do include a full list of all the interest owners, or a full list of all the working interest owners and any unleased mineral interest owners then, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Now you references like 22 different tracks, I believe you said. That information then is clearly available to you, correct?
Yes, we have a division order title opinion rendered. Yes, sir.
Okay. Understanding that in scenarios like this, when there's the individual lots, that maybe it's burdensome to provide. However, that is something we are going to need to be provided to us. I guess, do you understand what I'd be asking for when I asked for that?
Yes, I guess I just maybe need clarity on how you would like to see it, because it is just because of the nature of the fee tracks. But yes, I'm more than happy to provide you with whatever you need.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I think in other instances, the applicant had needed to provide a larger map, I guess, in order to show the individual. Because I know, like, in different cases, we've seen, like, blow-ups of, like, actual in the middle of city limits, where they did have depictions of, like, individual houses type thing broke out there. But it was, I mean, a pretty big map, I guess, in order to see those details. But as far as any breakout of lists, I mean, all we'd have to have is you could have a list of all your track in like a table, and then the owners below that, and then just have a legal description for each of the tracks, and then maybe that might help in identifying. I mean, rather than identifying it directly, I don't know if that would be an assistance in identifying it on the map if we include the legal descriptions in the list of tracks below. I didn't have a question there, but I guess, are you following what I'm referring to?
Just some of these tracts are half acre, 1 acre. Would it just be in regards to the unleased mineral owners, because they are all within the same like couple of tracts within the unit itself, or are you wanting every tract, which includes committed or leased mineral owners as well?
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess if, I mean, understanding, I guess, that we're not necessarily supposed to have questions, could you rephrase your question, and maybe I can help clarify what the division will be looking for?
I have another idea,
Yeah.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, hold on a second. Mr. Suazo, do you understand what's going on here?
I want to make sure that I understand clearly what it is that Mr. McClure is asking for so that we can make sure that we get the division everything that he needs to move this forward. So as I understand it, based upon the review of Exhibit C3 and the following page, what you're looking for is actually a map breaking out the unleased mineral interest owners and a corresponding table reflecting their interests. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Stazel, that is correct.
Okay. Understood.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Smith, it looks like council, your council understands what's still needed for us to continue the review of this case. So are there any other questions or requests, Mr. McClure, before we continue this case?
I do have additional questions, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Oh, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Smith, can I draw your attention to the CPAC? That's pages 3 and 4. Specifically, I'm looking at the first take points and last take points for each of the 4 wells.
I'm sorry, which exhibit was that?
Exhibit A, it looks like it's identified as. We could look at your Form C-102s if you have those in front of you too.
Asset management, this is Leslie.
Okay, I've got the C-102s.
Okay. Is all the first take points and last take points that's presented on those C-102s accurate?
They should be, yes.
Okay, so then is it correct that there's no wells closer than 330 feet to, I guess that center line, if you understand what I'm referring to by center line?
Yes, I know what you're referring to, as it pertains to the center line.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is no.
Okay, so do you understand then, when I tell you that you would need an NSP for this proposed unit, do you understand what I'm referring to?
A non-standard? No, I don't. If you could.
Yes, yes. Oh, essentially in this particular point, you don't have a proxy well unless there's a well within 330 feet of that center line. So assuming that Riley intends to drill the wells as laid out in this application, this would be a non-standard spacing unit.
We should have identified a proximity well, if that's what you're.
Yeah, can you identify that well for me?
Might need to defer to our geologist to confirm which one.
The geologist is also on the line.
Let me see if you have identified in the CPAC where maybe I can direct your attention to that. Oh, actually, it looks like you have not available wrote for the defining well. And we kind of need, I mean, we kind of need the landman's testimony for that defining well. So I'd prefer if you could provide that to me if you believe there is one, Mr. Smith. If it helps.
I thought we identified one, but if it's not in the materials, then I thought it was the 4H that we had. Well, but it's not the 4H. It can't be the 4H.
Mr. Smith, it's not a big deal. It's just we're going to have to change one of the boxes on the CPAC, just identifying that the applicant intends to seek an NSP administratively.
Right. I know the 2H and the 3H are both 330 from the center line. So it would have been one of the two.
Yeah, and if Riley had, moved them over by 10 feet, then this question wouldn't have even arisen.
Yeah, are we good with claiming the 3H as the proximity well?
No, you would need to, if you wish to, you need to change the location of that well in an amended exhibit packet, which you'll be submitting one anyway, so you can feel free to do so.
To be closer than 330?
Yes, it needs to be closer than 330.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought we needed to be within 330 was the most, I thought. But
yeah, yeah, I guess it is like rather than being equal to, it has to be less than, might be the way to say it.
Okay, so it cannot be equal to 330.
Yeah, but it could be 329.
Okay.
So, Mr. Smith, is it Riley's intent to change the location of one of the wells then to make it a proxy well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no more questions, but we will need a couple exhibits submitted to us then.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sawzel, we're going to need an amended CPAC that identifies the new proxy well, and then whichever well Riley intends to move, we're going to need the CPAC updated to include that new well location. Do you understand what I'm asking for?
I do. Thank you.
Okay. And then the form C-102 for whichever well it is also going to need to be amended to include a new location.
And just so we're clear, so that we don't have to file an NSP, we just need to change the location to less than 330 feet, and that will make it acceptable.
Yes, that's correct. That's how the administrative code is. If and it's from Mr. Smith's testimony, it seems that's Riley's intent here is to move one of them, and assuming that they move it to within the 330 feet, they will be fine to consider this a standard spacing unit.
Okay, understood.
Okay, is that all, Mr. McCoy?
Yes, it is, Mr. Hearing Examiner, including our earlier reference to their exhibit.
C3 or C4?
C3 is the one that needs to be that track map.
Thank you. So, Mr. Swazo, it sounds like there's three things to amend in the hearing packet and to continue the case to August 7, so we can do some further review on this case. Is there anything else?
No, Mr. Examiner.
All right, very good. August 7. Okay, thank you, Mr. McClure. Thank you, Mr. Smith. We're off the record in this case. Let's move on to case number 9, WCX Energy Permian. It is 25407, entries of appearance.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Good morning, Technical Examiner. Darren Savage with Aberdeen Shill appearing on behalf of the applicant, WPX Energy Permian.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Miguel Suazo on behalf of Bating Wozniak, appearing on behalf of XTO Permian Operating for monitoring purposes only.
Perfect, thank you. Mr. Savage.
Case 25407 covers lands in the west half of Section 33 and 28 and the southwest quarter of Section 21, all in Township 26 South, Range 30 East, Eddy County, New Mexico. The landman, Tim Prout, has testified previously before the division and has been accepted as expert witness, and so has the geologist, Russell Gooden, who has also testified previously before the division and has been accepted as a matter of record. In this case, WPX seeks an order pooling all uncommitted interest in the Bone Spring Formation. designated as an oil pool underlying a standard approximately 609.5 acres, more or less, spacing unit comprised of the west half of section 33 and 28 and the southwest quarter of section 21. The unit will be dedicated to the clawhammer fed com wells, which include 5 initial wells. Orientation of the wells and unit are stand up, and the wells have standard locations. Mr. Prout's Exhibit A includes his landman self-affirmed statement, C-102s, and ownership breakdown, well proposal letter with AFEs and the chronology of contacts. Mr. Gooden's Exhibit B for the case includes his self-affirmed statement, along with the 5 standard geology exhibits describing the potential for development of the unit. Exhibit C provides a self-affirmed statement of notice for mailings and publication notice. Notice was timely mailed on May 15th, 2025, and timely published on May 20th, 2025. At this time, I move the exhibits A, B, C, and all sub-exhibits be admitted into the record for this case and that the case be taken under advisement. Witnesses and counsel are available for questions.
Without exception, Mr. McClure, questions in this case?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no questions, but I do have a small typo that I'd like to point out to Mr. Savage for correction.
Please.
Mr. Savage, on the CPAC for your well number 3, you see where I'm looking at?
Yes, I wrote that down, so go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. The API number appears to have a slight typo for that well. Currently, it's listed as 30-015-56685, but I believe that the well that the applicant actually intends to include has the last 5 digits of its API of 56585.
It's 56585, Mr. Technical Examiner.
That's correct, Mr. Savage, for the last 5 digits of the API.
Okay, I have that down.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's the well that the applicant intends to include, but if that's not the case, then maybe it's a little bit bigger.
We'll double check and confirm that.
Mr. Savage, can you correct that by the end of today?
I believe so. I believe we can do that.
Well, if you can, then we're going to deem it a typo.
Okay.
And take the case under advisement after that time elapses and you fix this API number.
We'll certainly do that. Do you require a separate notice letter and a whole new packet for this one typo, or do you just want us to correct it and have like Miss Chance replace it?
Mr. McClure, how do you want it done?
I mean, they're not going to have to make other changes to their application packet, but as far as submitting a new exhibit packet, I don't know if that's Mr. Savage's question, I guess, because I think we do want them to submit a new exhibit packet. Isn't that correct, Mr. Hearing Examiner?
Why don't you call it a revised exhibit packet?
We'll do so.
And just put a cover letter saying that you're correcting this typo of an API number.
Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Savage?
Nothing.
Nothing. We're off the record in this case. In this case, will be taken under advisement once that typo is corrected. Okay, we're moving on to number 10, Matador Production 25409. Initiative of appearance, please.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant, Matador Production Company.
Are there any other parties? I don't.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. We did file an entry of appearance this morning. Yaritza Pena with Module Sperling on behalf of Avant Operating 2 and their entity Dogwood Exploration LLC. And we are just monitoring. I spoke with Ms. Vance about a revision that my client would like to see on their exhibits.
Ms. Vance?
Yes, I've reached out just to confirm, but basically, and I can summarize, and Ms. Pena can correct me if I'm wrong, but her client acquired an interest after we filed, and her client would like us to just reflect that in the pooling exhibit. I'm just confirming with my client that we're good to do that. I haven't heard back yet, but just want to confirm that we're good to do that.
Do you want to present your case?
Yes, I would say we previously actually presented this case. I did double check the case file and the transcript isn't in there. But the reason why I know we did present it at the June hearing is because Mr. McClure had some questions for our geologist and requested some revised exhibits, specifically the geology, which we did provide. He wanted to see the top of the Strawn interval marked on the structural cross-section or stratigraphic cross-section, and we did provide that. So I'm just here to close the loop on the revised exhibits that we filed. Additionally, we did include an updated pooling exhibit and a chronology of contacts because during that time, Matador was able to reach agreement with a couple of the parties they previously were seeking to pool. So unless there are any questions, I would ask that the revised exhibits be taken under advisement and be admitted into the record.
Ms. Pena, any objection?
No objection.
Okay, without objection, Mr. McClure, questions in this case?
I do have a quick question for Ms. Vance, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
For Ms. Vance, go ahead.
Ms. Vance, so what you were just referencing a change that Ms. Pena was talking to you about on behalf of Avant. Is that a change in the interest breakdown then? Is that correct?
It's not a change to the interest. My understanding is it's just a change to the party name. They acquired, and I'm not sure if she wants to say who the interest was, but I believe it was Moxie something.
Yeah, Tamara Moxie. So we would just request a change in the name to reflect the current interest owner, which is Dogwood Exploration LLC.
Yeah, the only thing is my landman is out right now. So that's why I'm not able to confirm that. But we're happy to, I think that we'll be fine to do that if that's agreeable.
Okay, so then is it accurate to say that you intend to amend one of your exhibits and submit a new exhibit packet then? Is that correct?
Correct. I'll just update the pooling exhibit to reflect that the interest Ms. Pena pointed out was acquired by Avant, and that's the interest that's being pooled. It's still the same interest that's being pooled.
Okay, Ms. Vance, can I also draw your attention to your CPAC in your amended exhibit packet? I believe it's on page 6 of 74.
Yes.
Do you see that formation pool area of the CPAC?
Yes.
If I reiterate, I guess, from our last hearing, that MRC is only requesting a subset of the Pennsylvanian formation, that being the Cisco and Canyon, if I remember right. Yeah, that's correct. The Cisco and Canyon, and that this vertical extent field needs to be amended to reflect that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes. Give me 1 second. I want to look at the geology.
And we can also bring your geologist back for questioning if you want.
I think he should be available, but I just want to make sure that I understand what you want to see reflected in that in the CPAC.
Let's do that on the record through questioning your geologist. What is his name?
Mr. Joshua Burris. There he is.
I see him. Okay, Mr. Burris, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Would you state and spell your name for the record?
Joshua Burris, Joshua Burrus.
And have you been previously qualified as an expert before this division?
Yes, I have.
In what field?
Petroleum geology.
Okay, Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Burles, what formations is Matador requesting the division to force pull in this case?
Our focus is on the Cisco and Canyon formations of the upper Pennsylvania. So above the top strawn or Demonian top that was added to the updated amended exhibits.
Okay, thank you. And so if I'm requesting an amendment to the CPAC to describe the vertical limit of what Matador is requesting within the Pennsylvania formation, do you understand what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
My understanding is you're requesting a more kind of delineated restriction to the upper Pennsylvanian, that being the Cisco and Canyon above the Strawn.
That is correct. And the exact wording doesn't matter per se, as long as a layman would understand what the subset is within the Pennsylvanian that Matador is requesting to be pulled. Do you understand my explanation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
So, Mr. McClure, what I understand from you is that you want two things to be revised. One is the CPAC for what you just described with the geologist, and also the and Ms. Vance, do you know what the other item is?
It would just be the pooling exhibit that I pointed out that Ms. Pena and I have agreed to updating. And that's not a problem. The one thing I would point out is these are also related to our Ed Drake cases that are on the July 15th contested hearing date. Matador is pulling the same interval. So I will update those CPACs and provide revised hearing packets. I can always hold off in case there's additional things that come out of the hearing that Mr. McClure may want to see. But I will make a mental note to update the CPACs.
So then what we'll do is, since this requires an amendment and further review, we'll do what we did with the other case and we'll put it on, well, you'll put it on the July 15 docket.
Yes, that works.
And that way we'll hear these cases first before we go to the contested matters that morning.
Yes.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Sure. Okay, so July 15, and that would require you to file the amended packet by tomorrow, close of business.
Not a problem.
All right, very good. Anything further, Ms. Vance?
Not on this case.
Very good. We're off the record in this.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, just if I could get Ms. Vance to confirm which exhibit it was that they attend for the pooling update. Are you still with us, Ms. Vance?
Yes, I just was looking, pulling up and making sure that I cited the correct exhibit. It should be C4.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Vance. That's what I was thinking, but I wanted to confirm.
All right, we're off the record in that case. Let's move on to number 11 on our docket. This is FAE Operating 25410. Entries of appearance, please.
Mr. Examiner, Ernest L. Padilla for the applicant FAE 2 Operating LLC.
Good morning, Mr. Padilla. Are there any other parties that you know of?
No.
Okay, Mr. Padilla, I couldn't find your exhibits.
Mr. Examiner, I'm looking at OCD exhibits. I have an extra copy if you'd like that.
What I'm saying, sir, is that when I look in the imaging file, in the imaging system, and now my system needs to be reconnected to the internet, so excuse me. Okay, let's see if I Okay, Mr. Padilla, I have to restart my computer. So why don't we take a 5-minute break? And we'll come back on the record at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
So
All right, it's 10:04 a.m. We're back on the record. So Mr. Padilla, we did not review that case because the exhibits were not timely submitted. So would you please continue your case to August 7 so we can review it properly and then hear it by affidavit at that time?
Okay, that'd be fine.
Thank you.
And
Mr.
I'm
Padilla.
glad you made me aware that
Okay,
we
Mr.
should have
Padilla.
filed a week ahead of time.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's move on to case number 12 and 13 on our docket. This is BTA Oil Producers 25411 and 12. Answers of appearance, please.
Mr. Examiner, Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of BTA Oil Producers, LLC.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy.
Mr. Examiner, Yaritza Pena with Module Spurling on behalf of Avant Operating 2 LLC, and we are just monitoring.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Hardy.
Thank you. In case number 25411, BTA seeks an order pulling interest in the second Bone Spring interval underlying a 400-acre, more or less, standard horizontal spacing unit comprised of the west half of the northwest quarter of Section 25 and the west half of Sections 24 and 13, Township 20 South, Range 35 East in Lee County. In case number 25412, BTA also seeks an order pulling interest in the second Bone Spring underlying a 400-acre standard horizontal unit comprised of the east half of the northwest quarter of Section 25 and the east half of the west half of Sections 24 and 13, Township 20 South, Range 35 East. The units will be dedicated to the Sagebrush 22302, 25-24-13 State Com wells. Our exhibit packets include the self-affirmed statements of land professional Christine Ramos and geologist Darren Dolezal, both of whom have previously testified before the division and been recognized as experts in their respective fields. Ms. Ramos provides the standard land exhibits. The tract ownership and pooled parties are identified in Exhibit A3. Mr. Dolezal provides a location map, structure map, cross-section, and gross isopac map. The notice information is included in our Exhibit C. Notice was timely mailed on June 12th of 2025 and was timely published on June 18th of 2025. With that, unless there are questions, I request that the exhibits be admitted into the record and that these cases be taken under advisement. Thank you.
Okay, without objection, Mr. McClure.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I am going to have questions for the landman.
Ms. Hardy.
And Mr. Examiner, Ms. Ramos is out, but we do have Adams Davenport available, who is also been recognized as an expert in land matters and is familiar with these cases and is available to answer questions.
Okay, let's get him on the screen.
I see him there, Mr. Examiner.
Mr. Davenport, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Spell your name and state your name for the record.
Adams Davenport, ADAMSDAVENPORT.
You can lower your hand. Thank you. You've been previously recognized by this division as an expert?
I have.
In what field?
Land matters.
Okay. And are you familiar with the exhibits filed by your, well, who are you employed with, first of all?
BTA Oil Producers.
Okay. You've reviewed the exhibits in this case?
I have.
Okay. And you've formulated an expert opinion in this case?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Davenport, I'm just trying to find a page reference here real fast. If I could draw your attention to Ms. Ramos's statement that's on page 5 of 91. I'm specifically looking at paragraph 7.
Okay.
there's reference to a depth severance that exists within the unit. But that depth severance itself does not seem to be described here. Do you see where I'm referring to, I guess?
I see where you're referring to, yes.
Now, there's also two total vertical depths listed in the same paragraph. You see where I'm referring to?
Yes.
Is it accurate to say that there's two different depth severances and that they occur at those two different total vertical depths?
It's our intent to pool the interval from the top of the bone spring to the top of the top of the second bone spring to the top of the third bone spring. It may not be clear in this provision 7, though.
Understanding that, I guess let me ask my question again. Is it accurate to say that there's two different depth severances within the bone spring?
Correct.
And where do those depth severances occur?
At the top of the second bone spring and at the top of the third bone spring.
Okay, so then those, do you see where there's two different total vertical depth referenced within this paragraph 7?
I do.
Okay, so how it describes here as your vertical limit, is it accurate to say that the top of that vertical limit, there's a depth severance that occurs, and at the base of that vertical limit, there's another depth severance that occurs?
That would be accurate.
Okay, and that the description of these feetages here is accurate to describe that vertical limit and where those depth severances occur. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then if I request that the landman statement be amended to describe where those depth severances occur rather than only describing the vertical limit, do you understand what I'm asking for?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, I guess could I give you a second for, have you fully read this paragraph 7, I guess?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so if I were to say that my reading of it is that it's is that it says there's a depth severance that occurs, and then it goes on to describe the vertical limit that that BTA wishes to force pull in this case. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So then if I were to say that the division would like to have those depth severances identified, do you understand what I'm asking for there?
There is no depth severance within from the top of the bone spring to the top of the third bone spring. Within that interval, there's no additional depth severance.
Okay, let me ask that question again. If I ask you to identify the depth severances that occur within the bone spring formation, do you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes.
Okay, and then further, if I ask that the landman statement be amended to include a description of those depth severances, do you understand what I'm referring to, what I'm asking for there?
Yes.
Okay. Now, within the CPAC, there is very similar language. And let me reference a page. It's page 2 of 91. And specifically, I'm looking at where it says other situations, and then there's depth severance, and there's a paragraph that closely mimics this paragraph 7. Do you see where I'm referring to, Mr. Davenport?
Yes.
Okay. So if I request that that paragraph also be amended to identify where the depth severances occur. Do you understand what I'm asking for there?
Yes.
Okay. One additional question on the topic. There's a well that's identified both within this paragraph and within paragraph 7 of the landman statement. That well being the Heller Company Trust Com A number 1. Do you see where I'm referencing?
Yes.
Is this where these depth severance? Is it due to that well that these depth severances occur?
No.
Oh, can you provide me with a brief description of what caused the depth severance? The two depth severances to occur?
There's another working interest owner within the unit that desires to develop other targets within the Bone Spring pool at a later date. So we, BTA and the other working interest party, agreed to limit this pooling application to just the Bone Spring, second Bone Spring interval. That is the only interval that we plan to develop at this time.
Okay, and in those discussions that led to the depth severance, was this identified well used as the type log to determine the stratigraphic equivalence of the depth severance?
Correct.
Okay. If I can draw your attention to your exhibit A-3, well, I guess BTA's exhibit A-3, page 16 of 91.
Okay.
Okay, just to confirm, is it accurate to say that, oh, okay, yeah, Miss Hardy has it on the screen. In this table, at that top section, there's 5 different categories listed there. Do you see where I'm referring to?
Yes.
Okay, of these 5 different categories, please confirm for me which it is that BTA is requesting the division to force pool.
The dark yellow and the light yellow. So leased, okay. Other third party pooled, and unleased pooled are the 2.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davenport. I have no further questions, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Do you want me to run down the amended exhibits that I'd like to be submitted?
Yes, please.
Okay, Ms. Hardy, I'm sure you were following along, but just to confirm, I guess what I'm looking for is for the amended CPAC referencing to identify the depth severances more clearly, and then an amended landman statement that directly identifies the depth severance occurring within the Bone Spring Formation.
And Mr. McClure, to make sure I understand, because I think this is the way that we've described depth severances in most of our prior cases, you're wanting, because here we state, and I've got it on the screen, that in the provision of the checklist, the depth severance exists. So as a result of that depth severance, we have the depths that we're pooling. And so are you wanting us to say the depth severance is at the top of the second Bone Spring, and then the footage, and then it's at the bottom of this, the top of the third Bone Spring?
I guess Miss Hardy, the way that those the way that the vertical limits is described would work perfectly to describe the depth severances. My only issue with what is here and within the landman statement is it doesn't say that's where the depth severances occur. And from reading this, it would easily lead you to believe there's only a single depth severance. even in the Bone Spring Formation. So, I mean, essentially, I guess what I would be looking for, and it's however you want to word it, but I mean, if you just like get rid of like those first two sentences and just change it to the death severances occur at, and then goes on to list how you have it there, I guess.
Okay, I understand.
Because like when I'm reviewing your exhibit packet, the only reason I even knew there were two different death severances was that your geology exhibit details it in much more detail. The issue is I kind of want to see it from the landman exhibit as well. And then also it definitely needs to be on this CPAC.
Okay, I understand. We'll get that to you.
Okay, Ms. Hardy. So please move these two cases to the August 7th docket to allow Mr. McClure to review the amended exhibit packet that you file.
We will do that.
We're off the record in these cases. Let's move to number 14, Newborn Oil, 25414. Entries of appearance, please.
Dana with Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of Newburn.
Thank you.
And we have no other parties in this case.
Please proceed.
Thank you. And actually, Mr. Examiner, before I present this case, can I ask you if we can quickly go back to the prior Newburn cases that I had presented, 25234 and 25235, which were numbers 3 and 4 on the docket?
All right. Let me recall those cases. Recalling 25234 and 35. Yes.
Thank you. And in those cases, Mr. McClure had asked us to provide a breakdown of the ownership interest on our Exhibit A3, and we can do that. And I would ask that the cases be set, if possible, on Tuesday's docket next week, along with the cases Ms. Vance has presented for Newburn that have the same issue. I will also be present on Tuesday, and these cases have been pending for quite some time. They were filed in February, so we would like to have them heard.
Okay. So how soon can you get that amended packet in?
We can get it to you today.
Okay, very good. So those for both cases. Mr. McClure, are you okay? Because really you're the one who has to review this additional information. Are you okay if Ms. Hardy files the amended packets in both 25234 and 35 by 5 o'clock today? Would you have time to review them so we hear them at the beginning of the July 15 docket?
Yes, I would, Mr. Examiner.
Okay, and Ms. Hardy, you'll move them to the July 15 docket?
Yes, I will do that.
All right. So all these cases that have additional evidence or revised evidence that we're hearing will be heard first. So Freya, our docket is growing rapidly, and I'm hoping that you will organize it so that I know that we had a trailing docket, but these cases will go first because hopefully they will not require much time or attention.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you. Let me make some notes, Ms. Hardy. Okay, so that means we have in addition to our contested cases, we have 2523435. We're going to have 25409. And we're going to have 25288. There's 4 cases so far added to our July 15 docket.
We also, I just want to remind you, we have that acid gas injection case hearing by affidavit on that date as well.
Yes, so we'll hear that case after we hear these 4 cases. I'm trying to prioritize how much time each case will take. Okay, excellent. Okay, so Ms. Hardy, you were discussing 25414?
Yes, thank you very much. In this case, Newburn seeks an order pooling uncommitted interest in the Bone Spring Formation underlying a 640.24 acre standard horizontal unit comprised of the north half of sections 28 and 29, Township 22 South, Range 27 East in Eddy County. The unit will be dedicated to the city slickers, 2829 fee wells. Our exhibit packet includes the self-affirmed statements of landman Brad Dunn and geologist Tyler Hill, both of whom have previously testified before the division and been recognized as experts in their respective fields. Mr. Dunn provides the standard land exhibits. The tract ownership and pooled parties are identified in Exhibit A3. And Mr. Hill provides a location map, structure map, and cross-section. The notice information is included in Exhibit C. Notice was timely mailed on June 2nd, 2025, and was timely published on June 19th, 2025. With that, unless there are questions, I request that the exhibits be admitted into the record and that the case be taken under advisement. Thank you.
Okay, without exception, Mr. McClure.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no questions for this case.
Okay, this case is taken under advisement. Thank you, Ms. Hardy.
Thank you.
Let's move on to 25415, Permian Resources.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of Permian Resources.
I don't see any other parties.
That's correct.
Please proceed.
Thank you. So this case is an extension, a request for a one-year extension. And we have provided in our hearing packet a copy of the application, the order, the original order, as well as the self-affirmed statement of landman Daniel Curry, who is available. He has previously testified before. We have also, or Corey, I'm sorry. And we also provided a updated pooling exhibit because Permian was able to reach agreement with some of the leasehold owners, some of the mineral interest owners rather. And then in paragraph 5, we have outlined the reason for the good cause and the request for the one-year extension. Additionally, I have my self-affirmed statement of notice with a sample letter that timely went out on June 20th, 2025, and the affidavit of notice of publication that was published on June 24th, 2025. And unless there are any questions, I would ask that the exhibits and the sub-exhibit be admitted into the record and that this case be taken under advisement at this time.
Without objection, Mr. McClure.
No questions for this case, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Case is taken under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to number 16, 25417, Mewburn Oil.
Mr. Examiner, Jim Bruce representing Mewburn.
Any other parties, Mr. Bruce?
Not that I know of.
Please proceed.
Mr. Examiner, in this case, Mewburn seeks to pool additional parties under existing pooling order R23287, which pooled the Bone Spring Formation underlying the south half, north half of section 16 and the south half northeast of section 17, 18 south, 29 east. Submitted exhibits. Exhibit 1 is the application and proposed notice. Exhibit 2 is the affidavit of Ariana Rodriguez, the landman for Mewburn. After the original order, a couple of additional interests for owners were located who needed to be pooled. The land plat is the land affidavit is rather short on exhibits because there's not much to show. It's just that they needed to force pool the Joanne Sibley Trust and the Thomas Ray Sibley Trust, as well as Shelmar E&P. But as I note on Exhibit 2B, the Shelmar E&P interest just signed JOA and is not being pooled. So it's only the two Sibley trusts. The well was proposed to them quite some time ago. They were given notice as shown on Exhibit 3A by Federal Express, and that notice was delivered. So even though I published notice, I have not attached that. But only the two Sibley trusts are being pooled. Notice has been given. They have been in negotiation for a long period of time, and we simply ask that those two interests be pooled under the existing order. And ask that the exhibits 1, 2, and 3 be admitted to the record.
Thank you. Without objection, Mr. McClure, questions in this case?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I do have questions for the landman in this case.
Mr. Bruce?
She should be online.
You want to call her name out?
Ariana Rodriguez.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Would you spell your name, please?
It's Ariana Rodriguez, Ariana Rodriguez.
Thank you. Have you been previously qualified as an expert for this division?
Yes.
In what field?
Land.
Thank you. Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Rodriguez, I'm looking at your breakdown of interests. I believe it's Exhibit 2B, and it occurs on page 18 of 28.
Mhm.
Okay. At the overall spacing unit ownership, I see where it says Mewbourne Oil Company et al. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Now, above that, in the individual tracks, however, I do see where it specifically details just Mewbourne Oil Company without the et al. Do you see where I'm referring to there?
Yes, I meant to delete the et al on that bottom summary portion. We had et al whenever we were working with the Sibley Trust. We had an agreement with them, and so we had them under our et al. We hadn't closed with them, and after working with them for months, we hadn't had any sort of communication back. So we decided to move forward with pooling, and so that's where that came from.
Okay, so and I do see where you've now included the like two different trusts down below there in red. Is that correct?
Yes.
And those are the interests you're referring to that was initially wrapped up in that et al.
Correct. The we had an agreement with them, but nothing ever got signed. So that's what I'm taking out of Mewbourne and putting it on the pooling docket.
Okay, so then is it accurate to say that if that et al was not there, that this, or let me backtrack, let me ask the question a different way. The 5 different persons there, is it accurate to say that that is an accurate description of all the interests in this unit?
We have Mewbourne as everybody that has signed the JOA. The contractual interests in this unit.
Okay, so then is it accurate to say that there are additional persons beyond these 5 that has a working interest or unleased mineral interest owner in this unit?
There are no unleased mineral owners. They're all signed up under the JOA. The only people that are pending are the 2 Joanne Sibley trusts.
So is it accurate to say, oh, go ahead, miss.
Sorry, and then that also, there was that Jamie Huber Owen that was previously pooled.
So is it accurate to say that there are additional working interest owners in this unit that are not shown in this breakout?
Yes.
Okay, so if I were to ask you to amend this to include all of those working interest owners, do you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes.
Okay. Is it accurate to say that of the persons being that Mewbourne is asking to add to this existing order, is it accurate to say that it is these 2 trusts that's listed here in red that own a working interest, I guess?
The 2 people we're pooling for this case are that Joanne Sibley Trust and the Thomas Ray Sibley Trust.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm looking at your page 24 of 28. This is the looks like written notice for this application. Do you see where I'm looking at?
24. Yes.
And on this notice letter, it appears that both the trusts are listed there, and then it has the intention of a single person, this Melissa Rickman. Do you see where I'm referring to?
Yes.
Is it accurate to say that this Melissa Rickman is representing both those trusts?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no further questions, but I am going to request that they submit an amended Exhibit 2B that includes a full breakout of the updated ownership in the unit.
Mr. Bruce?
That's fine.
Okay. So, Mr. Bruce, this case will be moved by yourself to the August 7 docket for further review once you submit that amended exhibit. Is there anything else?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're off the record in that case. Let's move on to number 17, EGL Resources. There are two cases, 25418, 25419. Entries, please.
Mr. Examiner Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of EGL Resources. And there are no other parties.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy. Go ahead.
Thank you. In these cases, EGL seeks an order pooling additional uncommitted interest under the terms of division order numbers R23783 and 23782. These units are dedicated to the Moonraker 1527 FedCom wells. Our exhibit packets include the self-affirmed statement of land professional Ruth Pelzel, who has previously testified before the division and been recognized as an expert in petroleum land matters. Ms. Pelzel provides the standard land exhibits. The ownership interest and pooled parties are shown on an exhibit A3, and here we are only seeking to pool overriding royalty interest. The notice information is included in exhibit B. Notice was timely mailed on June 3rd, 2025, and was timely published on June 18th, 2025. So with that, unless there are questions, I request that the exhibits be admitted and that the cases be taken under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy. Without objection, Mr. McClure, questions?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, no questions for either of these cases.
Thank you. We'll take them under advisement. Moving on to number 19 on the docket and 20. These are EGL Resources 25420 and 21. Entries, please.
Mr. Examiner Dana Hardy again with Hardy McLean on behalf of EGL Resources, and there are no other parties.
Please proceed.
In these cases, EGL seeks an order extending the deadline to commence drilling the wells authorized by order numbers R23525 and R23524 until October 23rd, 2026. So that's a one-year extension, and it is the first extension for these wells. Our exhibit packet includes the self-affirmed statement of Ruth Pelzel, who again has been previously recognized as an expert by the division in petroleum land matters. Ms. Pelzel explains that there is good cause for the extension due to delays in the issuance of federal drilling permits. The notice information is included in Exhibit B. Notice was timely mailed on June 12th, 2025, and was timely published on June 18th, 2025. Unless there are questions, I request that the exhibits be admitted and that these cases be taken under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy. Without objection, Mr. McClure, questions?
No questions for either of these cases, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
And they're taken under advisement.
Thank you.
Moving on, thank you. Moving on to number 21 on our docket. This is Cimarex Energy 25423.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, Mr. Technical Examiner Darren Savage with Aberdeen and Schill, appearing on behalf of Cimarex Energy Company of Colorado, and I believe there are two other parties.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Jordan Kessler on behalf of EOG Resources monitoring.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of Matador Production Company, and we are also just monitoring the case.
Savage.
Thank you. This case covers lands in the west half of sections 11 and 14, Township 25 South, Range 28 East in Eddy County. The landman for these cases, Dylan Park, has testified before the division as an expert witness, and his credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. However, the geologist, Crystal Pate, has not testified before the division. Her resume is attached to her written statement, and she is available for questioning to determine whether she is qualified to be an expert witness in the area of geology.
Thank you, Mr. Savage. I'm going to postpone that questioning and qualifying her at this time so we can move through this docket. It's going a little slower.
Yes. Okay. In this case, Cimarex seeks an order creating a standard 640-acre spacing unit comprised of the west half of sections 11 and 14 and pooling all uncommitted interest in the Bone Spring Formation underlying the unit. The unit will be dedicated to 6 initial wells. That's the Riverbend 1114 Federal Com 1H through 6H. Orientation of the unit is stand up, and the wells have standard locations. Mr. Park's Exhibit A includes his landman statement, C-102's ownership breakdown, the well proposal letters with AFE, and the chronology of contacts. Ms. Crystal's exhibits includes her geology statement, along with the suite of 5 standard geology exhibits that show potential for development. Exhibit C provides the self-affirmed statement, confirming notice for mailings and publication. Notice was both timely mailed on June 18th, 2025, and timely published on June 21st, 2025. Mr. Hearing Examiner, at this time, I move that Exhibits A, B, and C and all sub-exhibits be accepted into the record for this case, and the case be taken under advisement. Counsel and witnesses are available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Savage. Without objection, Mr. McClure, questions?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I will have questions for both the landman and geologist.
Okay, let's get them both on the screen. Let's get them sworn in together. Yeah, I see Ms. Pate and Mr. Park. Would you please both raise your right hands? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Park, I want to start with you. Would you spell your name for the record?
Sure. It's Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N, last name Park, P-A-R-K.
And you've been previously recognized as an expert before this division?
Yes, sir.
In what field?
Petroleum land management.
All right, thank you. Ms. Pate, would you spell your name?
Yes. Crystal, C-R-Y-S-T-A-L, Pate, P-A-T-E.
Okay, and you've not been previously qualified as an expert, is that correct?
That is correct.
Before this division. Okay. What field are you seeking to be admitted and recognized as an expert before this division?
Geology,
Just general geology, not petroleum geology?
petroleum geology.
Okay, very good. What education do you have that goes toward that? And just give me some dates when you achieved your degrees.
I have a bachelor's in geology that I received in 2009.
From where?
Or sorry, 2009 from Texas Tech University.
Okay.
And then a master's in science from Texas Tech University in 2011.
Okay. And what work have you done since 2011 that would go toward your qualifications?
I have 10 years experience, 10 plus years experience in petrophysics with multiple operators, including Concho and ConocoPhillips, and 2 years with Coterra as a geologist.
What are your what's your current title?
Senior geologist.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Senior geologist.
Oh, senior geologist. Thank you. What are your duties there?
I am in charge of operations, managing the proper landings for the zones and development of our assets.
So landing, you said you deal with landing zones and management of assets?
Yes, a development of them, planning the development and mapping reservoir properties.
Okay. And in this case, what did you do in this case?
I helped plan the wells, the landing zones, and I mapped the reservoir properties for the area.
Okay. And you provided the exhibits under your tab?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Pate. You are hereby qualified before this division as a petroleum geologist. Mr. McClure, would you like to start with Mr. Park?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I most certainly can. Mr. Park, can I draw your attention to your summary of interests in Exhibit A2 I believe it's page 32 of 166.
Yes, sir. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm there.
Okay, do you see where we have, or where you have like Devon, EOG, and Matador listed, and then it has like contractual rights listed
Yes,
after
sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
Can you provide a brief description of what you're referring to when you're referring to the contractual rights here?
Yes, sir. So in this case, I broke down the tracks by, I wanted to break them down by the leasehold interest. So in this case, there's also these parties that I've noted that have just contractual rights, and that's based off of an old JOA back in I believe it was 1981 that covered a large area. But some of those tracks fall within our Riverbend 1114 development area, and so we wanted to proactively and prudently give them their interest in these wells. It's a small interest, but we wanted to note that here. We've broken down their interest in detail in the recapitulation.
Okay, so is it accurate to say that they have overriding royalty interest owner in these tracts, or can you
No,
please
sir.
describe their interest a little more, I guess?
Yeah, so in this old 1981 JOA, they committed leasehold in a larger area. Some of those tracts within that large area fall within our new development. So they have contractual operating rights within this unit that we've granted them or accepted their contractual interest in this unit. And so we've tried to detail that here. I didn't want to confuse the record title or actual leasehold ownership. So that's why I just kind of noted the contractual rights, but then broke that out in the recapitulation of the unit as a whole.
So then they do not have a working interest, mineral interest, or overriding interest.
They do have contractual operating rights in the wells. So we've proposed the wells to them as a working interest owner, but it's not based off of leasehold ownership. It's based off of the old 1981 JOA where they contributed numerous leases, but that JOA covered tracts that are within this unit. Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah, I guess what I'm understanding then is they're the operator of record for that JOA. Is that correct?
They're not necessarily the operator of record, but they have a working interest under the 1981 JOA.
Okay, so then they have a working interest in this unit then, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and I guess why is Magnum, like just looking at the very first track, the track 1 ownership, why is Magnum Hunter Production listed as having 100% working interest then?
That's because they have 100% of the record title leasehold ownership in that tract. So then our interest would then be reduced by the minimal amount of the contractual rights that are there, and that's captured in the recapitulation.
Okay, so is it accurate to say that it's not 100% and it's really a number slightly less than 100%?
I don't know if that would be accurate or not, because for example, in tract 1, Magnum Hunter has 100% of the leasehold at a record title basis. But then you have Devon, EOG, and MRC that have contractual rights based off of the 1981 JOA.
But under that JOA, they committed their working interest to the JOA. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So they're getting paid working interest out of this unit. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. Yes, sir.
And the reason you're forced pulling them is because you're forced pulling that working interest. Is that also correct?
That would be correct. The contractual working interest that we've credited them with. Yes, sir.
Okay, so then would it be accurate to say that the reason you're saying Magnum Hunter has 100% working interest is because you're considering these different three persons' working interest as being Magnum hunters due to the JOA.
Can you repeat that? I want to make sure I understand.
The reason that you list Magnum Hunter as 100% working interest owner is because you're considering Devon's working interest to be owned by Magnum Hunter. Is that the reason you have it listed as 100%?
No. Let me try to explain that a little bit better than I did before. The reason why I have them at 100% in this example, tract 1, is because they are the 100% record title leasehold owner at the county level, right? The 1981 JOA is not something of record. It's something we found through our diligence, and we're crediting them with their contractual working interest. I didn't want to confuse record title leasehold ownership with contractual rights. I was trying to avoid that confusion, but it looks like I made it worse, perhaps.
And I'm not a professional landman by any stretch. But based upon this description, it sounds to me like you plan on paying out to them as if they own a working interest. Is that accurate to say?
That is accurate. Yes, sir.
And I guess, is there a reason that we don't consider it a working interest here then?
It's just, in our profession, it's considered a contractual working interest. So it differs a little bit, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, it's not so much of the division needs to know the nitty gritty of the individual contracts, but we do need to know what interest it is that we are being requested to force pool in this instance.
Yes, sir. And that's where we have their interest broken out in the recapitulation. I was trying to keep the tract level at a record title level, who actually owns the leases, but then break that out in the recapitulation.
Okay, and if I were to, and you do have all of this interest available to you for each individual tract, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And if I were to ask you to amend this exhibit to, instead of say contractual rights, or however you want to identify their rights, but have an actual percentage of what is being force pooled in each tract, do you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And then, of course, if you want to, have some sort of caveat talking about it being contractual rights, then obviously you should feel free in your exhibit to include your, extra footnotes, whatnot.
Sure.
But we will want to see these interests broke out, I guess.
Okay, I can update that. Yes, sir.
Yep. Mr. Hearing Examiner, could we have a little bit of a discussion on clarification on that request?
Go ahead.
Okay, so in the past, historically, as I understand it, you would look at the ownership only of the unit, of the proposed unit, and that would have all the track breakdowns based on the title as the title plays out. So you'd have like northeast, and that was very clear. And then the title attorney started running into like these difficult questions because we'd have these complicated JOAs that would cover multiple sections, and then they would overlap the proposed unit. And then so the attorneys, practitioners, and the OCD kind of grappled with how best to address this, because you really don't have to address the contractual rights, but it's as a precaution, it's best to, because you want to make sure that everybody that can claim revenue from the working interest part of the production can come in that is accounted for. So this is how we have been dealing with this kind of hybrid, complicated scenario. So as Mr. Park points out, it's really not a leasehold working interest, but it is a form of working interest, and it falls under the contractual rights. So this is how we in the past we have done this. We provide the specific percentages in the recapitulation, and then it looks to me like it's very clear. And we state on the recapitulation, I'm looking at going down here, that these represent the parties to be pooled, and it gives the specific percentages. So I mean, is it really a necessary? Does it really benefit the OCD to have to amend this? I guess is the question, and include a redundant of the percentages up in the tracks, where the tracks really don't. I mean, that would also be inaccurate, because those contractual interests are not contained within the tracks themselves. They're part of that, but they're really part of a much larger swath of contractual interests. I mean, so I mean, we can do it, if it's really required and requested, but there is a consideration that it may not be necessary.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Savage. Mr. McClure, you don't need to expand upon your rationale, but after hearing Mr. Savage, do you still want what you asked from Mr. Park?
Yes, I do. If we wanted to discuss it more, we do have the rule citation that specifically requires what I'm requesting from Mr. Park.
That's fine, Mr. McClure. We'll accommodate that.
And Mr. McClure, do you want to just state the rule on the record?
Yeah, it's 19.15.4.12, capital A dot 1, little b, little double I.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Park, you know what Mr. McClure wants. Now,
Yes, sir.
Mr. McClure, are you finished with your questions for Mr. Park?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I am finished with my questions for
Okay.
Mr. Park.
What about Ms. Pate?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Pate, if I can draw your attention to, let me close this PDF, and page 93 of 166. This is your exhibit B4. It should be a cross section. Let me get there my own self. Are you there with me, Ms. Pate?
Yes.
Okay, on this cross section, I only see a single depth identified in the depth tracks, that being 7,500. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes, sir.
If I were to ask you to submit an amended cross section, and there's 3 of them, I believe, within this exhibit packet, and for each of them, I would request this, having more detail, more resolution in that depth track, with like ticks like every 100 feet, something along those lines. Do you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then that's extended across exhibit B4, B6, and B8.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pate. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no further questions, but would only ask for the amended exhibit B4, B6, B8, and I guess I forgot to add to my notes, but the exhibit A2 now.
Okay, Mr. Savage, do you know what he wants?
Yes, sir.
All right. Would you please move this case to August 7, so that gives time for Mr. McClure to review your amended exhibit packet?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're off the record in this case. Thank you, Ms. Pate and Mr. Park. All right, let's move on now to Mewburn Oil, 25424, 25425. Entries, please.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant, Mewburn Oil Company.
Thank you.
And as far as I know, I don't believe that there are any other parties in
Please
this
proceed.
case. Thank you. So in this case, Mewburn seeks to pool the uncommitted interests in two cases with, and those are, you already said them, but all of the acreage is in Township 18 South, Range 35 East, and it's Lee County, New Mexico. And specifically in case 25424, Mewburn seeks to pool the interests in a 320 acre, more or less, well spacing unit underlying the west half of sections 14 and 23, and dedicate that spacing unit to initially to the Picanha 2314 State Com 521H. And then in case number 25425, Mewburn seeks to pool the interest in a 320 acre, more or less, well spacing unit underlying the east half of the west half of sections 14 and 23, and initially dedicate that spacing unit to the Picanha 2314 State Com 523H. In both of those instances, Mewburn is pooling the Bone Spring Formation, and the pool code is Revis Bone Spring, and pool code is 51870. In our hearing packets, we have provided a copy of the application, the completed CPAC, along with the statement of landman Peyton Warren, along and the land exhibits that are always required. And following that is the geologist statement from Charles Crosby, who has also previously testified before the division, and his credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. And then following all of that is my self-affirmed statement of notice with a sample letter that was timely mailed on June 20th, 2025, and the affidavit of notice of publication that was timely published on June 24th, 2025. And unless there are any questions, I would ask that the exhibits and sub-exhibits be admitted into the record, and that these cases be taken under advisement at this time.
Without objection. Mr. McClure, these two cases?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, no questions for either of these cases.
All right, Ms. Vance, we'll take these two under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to Burnett Oil, 25427, 25428.
Mr. Examiner,
Any other parties, Mr. Bruce?
Yes, Mr. Examiner, Miguel Suazo with Beatty and Wozniak representing Riley Permian Operating, monitoring purposes only.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bruce?
I've submitted a package of exhibits. Burnett Oil Company seeks to force pool the north half of section 2418 south 26 east for purposes of drilling 3 of its horned frog wells. The exhibit package contains the Exhibit A, the application, Exhibit A, the affidavit of Christine Pilgrim, the landman for Burnett, with the application, the usual set of exhibits. I would point out that when it comes to the land interests, getting towards the OCD's area of interest, exhibits A3 contains lists of all interest owners, and part of that, it separately has a separate page showing the interest owners who are being pooled, so that Mr. McClure does not have to see an additional list. I will get into this a little bit later, but there are several parties who have just recently shown that they will sign oil and gas leases with Burnett, and they have requested that they not be pooled in this hearing, which Burnett has agreed to. Janine Witt, the estate of Jeffrey Disk, Disque, and Jody Disk, the estate of John Disk, and Margie Disk. The exhibit also contains the proposal letter and shows the list of contacts with the locatable interest owners. There are a number of other unlocatable interest owners. There's the affidavit, Exhibit B, the self-affirmed statement of Troy Cortez, the geologist, who talks about the structure of the target formation, which is the Glorieta Yeso formation, and it contains the usual plats and cross sections, and it also contains a plat of production from offsetting wells. Exhibit C is the pooling checklist. Exhibit D is my self-affirmed statement regarding notice. And Exhibit E is the affidavit of publication. There are a number of people to notify. The affidavit of publication, because I did not take into account Juneteenth was not timely filed. So these matters need to be continued to both of them to June 24th, just to cure the notice deadline problem.
June 24th?
July. Excuse me.
When you say July 24, I think that's a status conference docket, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever docket works for you.
Okay.
And
so hold on one second. Let's I think Mr. McClure reviewed your file carefully and probably has some additional things besides the notice issue, but let's get your exhibits admitted into evidence, and I don't hear any objection, so without objection.
And I would just point out, I did not include I knew I was going to have to continue the matter, so I did not include all the green cards, which are still coming in for this matter.
Okay.
So that will have to be revised. I already have the corrected notice, or excuse me, listing of parties being pooled from my client. I received that late yesterday. And so I will have to submit some revised exhibits. And I would just point out the same set of exhibits for case 25428, which pertains to the pooling of the south half of section 24. Same zone being pooled, the Glorieta Yeso, Atoka Glorieta Yeso. And I would move the admission of exhibits A through E in each case, and amended exhibits will be filed and it be continued to whatever docket is necessary.
Okay, so without exception, they're admitted. Mr. McClure, you heard what Mr. Bruce was talking about, amending the exhibit packet and continuing to August 7, Mr. Bruce. That's the next docket, August 7. So, Mr. McClure, are there any other issues that you see, or do you have questions for witnesses?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I am going to have questions for witnesses. I mean, these cases will have to be continued anyway, so maybe it's not worth talking about the notice, but if that had been the only issue, I would have asked the applicant to review whether they actually believe notice is out of date or not. But I suppose it's irrelevant to this discussion, since we'll end up continuing it anyway, unless you wish to have it, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So you're going to have questions for the landman, the geologist, what?
I believe the landman should be able to address all my questions. Mr. Bruce can probably handle the geology because I just need to tell him what I need.
Okay.
But landman would probably be the only one I have questions for.
All right. Mr. Bruce, while you get your landman on the screen, let's take a 5-minute break. And we'll come back on the record at 11, what would that be, 13? Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Well.
We are back on the record. It is 11:15. Oh, wait, we don't have a court reporter, so I guess we're not. I take that back. Let's wait for Mr. Baca to come. Let's wait for Mr. Baca to come back. Oh, there he is.
Ms. Pilgrim, would you say your full name for the record?
Mr. Bruce, hold on one sec. We're not on the record yet.
Oh, we're not on.
Mr. Baca. We're in the home stretch.
Hey,
Mr.
Paul.
Baca. Oh, yeah. All right, we are back on the record. It is still 11:15 a.m. on July 10. Mr. Bruce, is this your land person on the?
Yes, Christine
very good.
Pilgrim.
All right, so Miss Pilgrim, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Would you spell your name?
It's Christine Pilgrim, Kristine. Pilgrim's Pilgrim.
And have you been accepted as an expert before this division?
I have.
In what field?
For land matters.
Very good. Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Pilgrim, referring specifically to the second case here, that being 25428.
Yes.
Within this case, what is the legal description of the unit that Burnett is asking the division to force pull?
It is the south half of section 24, township 18 south, 26 east.
Okay. And is it accurate to say that the wells that Burnett is proposing to drill within this unit, is it accurate to say that their well name is now the Horned Frog?
No, sir. For the case that you're asking for, for the south half, these ones are going to be the Maverick. They were changed to the Maverick wells. The north half is Horned Frog, and then the south half is going to be Maverick.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there API numbers included in your exhibit packet?
Yes.
And of those of those wells that's identified by API number, what is the current well name for those wells?
They were changed back in May. We took the unit to hearing to do the full 640 acre unit. And so they were all going to be Horned Frog wells. So they have been submitted and I believe already approved now for the south half. We just renamed using the same API numbers for the three south ones.
Okay, so currently in the system, the OCD system, they're listed as being the Horned Frog with an HSU that's the entirety of section 24, but Burnett intends to change them to now be the Maverick wells and only be the south half of section 24. Is all that correct?
Correct. And I believe it's already been submitted and taken care of.
Not by the division, it hasn't.
Okay, I'll check.
Yeah, it may have been submitted, I'm not sure, but I didn't recall seeing, but it could potentially be, unless there's federal interest and you have it before the BLM. But regardless, my point of my question isn't whether you're submitted or what the status is. I just want to know what the end result is going to be. So what is in this application packet is what the end result is intended by Burnett.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Bruce was referencing that there was 3 persons that are no longer going to be pooled. Is that correct to your understanding?
Yes, from the list that I've already submitted to him, the updated exhibits for that. There's actually, I think, 4 on there that are not going to be pooled.
And you don't happen to have that exhibit, the exhibit number, do you? Of that's going to be amended. I can ask Mr. Bruce if you don't afterwards.
It'll be exhibit A3.
A3. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bruce. And is that in both cases, Mr. Bruce?
Is that what?
Is that in both cases?
Yes, in each case, it'll be Exhibit A3.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Pilgrim. I don't think I have any more questions for you, but I do have some questions for Mr. Bruce.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bruce.
Yes, sir.
In these cases, when was written notice provided?
Written notice was mailed June 18.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bruce. We can get the geologist, but if you don't know what I'm asking for, but Mr. Bruce, if I were to ask for a higher resolution copy of each of the cross sections in these cases, it looks like they're both Exhibit B3 in both cases.
Correct.
Do you understand what I'm asking for if I ask for a higher resolution copy of those?
Cross. Yes,
Okay.
sir. We'll see what we can do for you and submit amended.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I mean, to give you some reference of what I'm looking for, I need to at least be able to identify the numbers in the measured track to the depth track to figure out where we're actually looking at, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no further questions, although these cases are some that has the incorrect email address listed. I don't
Okay.
know if you wanted to touch base about that or bring it
Okay,
up or not.
I will touch base. So, Mr. Bruce, can you just on the record say which exhibits you are going to amend and
I will be amending in each package Exhibit A3 with the correct, which is the corrected listing of interest owners and those being pooled. And in addition, exhibits B3, the cross-section maps for Mr. McClure, so he has a higher resolution. I will be also amending my exhibit D, which is my affidavit of notice, to include green cards and to update the notice that was given.
Okay. And then Mr. McClure found an error in your actual notice. I don't think it's fatal, but I would like you to correct it in the future.
Okay.
In your notice, you have the email of Freya Chance. You also have an outdated email for OCD. I'm not looking at it right now, where you actually, I guess it's something that we used to use here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. I will correct that. Yeah.
And it has I don't even know about the part in front of the @ symbol, but the part after the @ symbol says something about mnerd.state.nm.gov, and of course that's not correct anymore.
Correct.
Okay, so you know what it is.
Yeah, I probably pulled that up as something from a couple of years ago.
Probably. Okay, very good. All right, then, Mr. Bruce, please submit a corrected exhibit package and continue these cases to August 7.
Mr. Hearing Examiner?
Yes.
Just to confirm, I didn't mention it because I thought Mr. Bruce said he was going to include them. In his Exhibit D2, I'd also request that he include the notice spreadsheet when he submits that amended exhibit packet.
Okay, thank you. Did you catch that, Mr. Bruce?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And
he heard.
And one further inquiry for you, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Yes.
That same email
yes.
notice issue does occur in some future cases that we haven't heard yet on this docket, but we haven't heard yet. Do you want us to bring it up on record for each case, or
Yes.
are we fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we're off the record in the Burnett Oil case. Let's move on to Mewbourne Oil, 25429. Entries, please.
Mr. Examiner, Jim Bruce, representing Mewbourne.
I don't believe there's any other parties, so why don't you, bless you, why don't you proceed?
I'm not aware of any. Mr. Examiner, in this case, submitted the usual exhibits, pooling checklist, the landman's affidavit, the geologist's affidavit, and the notice exhibits. In this case, Mewbourne seeks to pool all of sections 23 and 26, 18 South 32 East in Lee County for purposes of drilling a number of its so-called Quericho Bone Spring wells. This is a non-standard spacing unit, but administrative approval was requested, so that approval is not sought in this matter. The landman, Hudson Brudson, his exhibit is number 2, contains all the usual information, the land plats, the interest owners. I would point out with respect to Mr. McClure, again, exhibit 2B is the tract map, and it lists all of the interest owners on the first page of exhibit 2B. And then on the second page, it does give the specific working interest owners who are being pooled. There are 4 of them, and their working interests in the pooled unit. There are a number of people notified, but most of them are record title owners who are being notified solely for the purposes of getting an approved communitization agreement from the federal government. The notice exhibits or the geologist exhibits are from Charles Crosby, who has testified many times before the division in these cases, and contains usual exhibits. The affidavit of certified mail is attached together with the green cards and a certified notice spreadsheet. Exhibit 5 is the affidavit of publication, which was timely published. The written notice was actually mailed out on June 17th. Publication occurred on the 18th. So all of the notice was timely given. And then exhibit 6 is the application and proposed notice. I would move the admission of exhibits 1 through 6 and ask that these matters be taken under advisement.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Without objection, Mr. McClure.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I do have questions for the landman.
And who is your landman?
Hudson Brudson.
Okay. Do you see him here?
Yes, he should be on screen here.
There you are. Mr. Brunson, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Spell your name for the record.
Hudson Brunson, Hudson Brunson.
And you've been accepted as an expert by this division?
Yes, sir, in land
In what
matters.
field? Land matters. Thank you, sir. Mr. McClure.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Brunson, is it accurate to say that each of the wells that Mewbourne is proposing to drill in this unit are targeting Bone Spring 2 and Bone Spring 3?
Yes, sir.
Is it accurate to say that Mewbourne would like to pool the entirety of the Bone Spring Formation?
Yes, sir.
If Mewbourne, because of the pools in this area, we're in a lower Bone Spring pool. Would it be accurate to, or does Mewbourne have an interest in going after the Avalon within the Bone Spring?
I believe it's our intention to pool the entire Bone Spring. The 5 wells that are being pooled here are the wells that are proposed and are the ones that are currently in our plans.
I guess if I were to inform you that it may be a much longer review by the division and possible dismissal, would Mewbourne be fine with reducing its requested vertical limit to only be from the top of the first Bone Spring sand to the base of the Bone Spring?
I can check with our team and I can give you an answer on that. But I can't speak for our future plans on what we have planned. I just know that it was our intention to pool the entire Bone Spring.
Okay, I guess, are you aware that the Bone Spring in this region is separated into 2 different pools? One being for the upper Bone Spring and one being for the lower Bone Spring.
I guess you're referring to that pool code 50510 that we have listed.
That's correct.
And you're saying
Mr.
that should not include the pool code that's above that?
The pool that these wells are proposed to be producing from only includes the lower Bone Spring and does not include the upper Bone Spring. The upper
Okay.
Bone Spring being defined as the Avalon.
Okay, then I believe to answer your question, yes, we'd be okay in reducing it if including a different pool code would lead to a dismissal.
It's I can't necessarily speculate on for sure what the director would want to do. I will say that in recent years, the division has not been approving as such with the 2 different vertically displaced pools.
Mr.
So-
McClure, is the pool that's mentioned in the pooling checklist for the second and third Bone Spring to lower Bone Spring?
It is, Mr. Bruce. The pool code is right. The pool name, on the other hand, is missing the lower from it, which may be where this confusion's coming from.
Okay.
But the pool code itself is correct, and the majority of that pool name is also correct, other than it's missing lower Bone Spring.
Okay.
Mr. Bunsen, if I were to request that the CPAC be amended to restrict the vertical limit to from the top of the first Bone Spring sand to the base of the Bone Spring, do you understand what I'm asking of you?
I believe so.
Okay. Mr. Bruce, do you understand what I'm asking for there?
Yes, the Avalon would be admitted. It would only be the first, second, and third Bone Spring that are being pooled.
That's correct, Mr. Bruce. Mr. Brunson, thank you. I have no further questions. But Mr. Bruce, these are also some cross sections that I'm going to need to have a higher resolution submitted. I believe those are Exhibit 3B and 3C.
Okay, exhibits 3B, 3C, and then a new pooling checklist, exhibit 1.
That's correct. And on that pooling checklist, if we can correct that pool name to correctly identify it as being lower bone.
I will correct that, and then down below, I will correct that the Avalon is being excluded or limit the pooled extent.
Now, you mentioned down below, but let me actually bring it up. The place that I'm looking at is where it says pooling this vertical extent. You specifically see where I'm
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right next to it. Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. And then, Mr. Hearing Examiner, this is another instance of the email address in the notice letter and public notice that was conducted.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Bruce has heard that. I have a question for you, Mr. McClure. I thought you said 3D as in David and 3C, but then Mr. Bruce said 3B as in boy. Did I mishear?
Yeah, I mean, I meant to say Exhibit 3B is in boy and then 3C is in Charlie.
Perfect. So he heard you. I didn't hear you correctly. We're good. Anything else, Mr. McClure, before we continue this case?
Nothing from me, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
All right. So, Mr. Bruce, this is another case that has to be continued to August 7.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sounds good. Do you have any questions on this case, Mr. Bruce? Oh, no. Very good. All right. We're off the record in this case. Let's move on to EOG Resources 25433.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant EOG Resources, Inc.
Thank you.
Mr. Examiner, Jim Bruce representing MRC Permian Company in this case. They do not object to proceeding and do not object to the exhibits.
Thank you. Ms. Vance.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. So in this case, EOG seeks to pool the uncommitted interests in a 240-acre, more or less horizontal well spacing unit that's comprised of the west half of Section 10 and the west half of the southwest quarter of Section 3, and that is in Township 25 South, Range 34 East, Lee County, New Mexico. And the pool for that would be the Delaware Formation, or I'm sorry, it would be in the Delaware Formation, and the pool is the Vaca Ridge, Delaware, and the pool code is 97161. And EOG seeks to initially dedicate that spacing unit to the Osprey 10 1H well. In the hearing packet, we have included a copy of the application, the completed CPAC, along with the landman statement. Our landman is Lacey Stretcher, who has previously testified before the division, and her credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. And following that is our geology statement from geologist Tara George, who has also previously testified before the divisions, and her credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. And along with her statement are the required geology sub-exhibits. And then following that is my self-affirmed statement of notice with a sample copy of the letter notice that was timely mailed on June 20th, 2025, and the affidavit of notice of publication that was timely published on June 24th, 2025. And unless there are any questions, I would ask that the exhibits and sub-exhibits be admitted into the record and that this case be taken under advisement at this time. Thank you.
Without objection, Mr. McClure.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I do have questions for the landman in this case.
Is that Ms. Stretcher?
That is Ms. Stretcher.
Ms. Stretcher, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please spell your name.
Lacey, Laci, Stretcher, Stretcher.
Have you been recognized as an expert by this division?
Have, yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. In what field?
Land matters.
Okay. Mr. McClure?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Stretcher, if I can draw your attention to your summary of contacts, should be Exhibit C-4, page 31 of 55. Oh, and it looks like Ms. Vance has it pulled up on the screen.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see that top entry where it references all partners?
Yes.
When you reference all partners, who all are you referring to?
All of the parties that are working interest owners in the OSPRI 10-1H. So that includes people that are under the JOA. They receive the proposals at the same time as the folks that were not under JOA, the ones that were today.
Okay, so then is it accurate to say that this is all working interest owners in the proposed unit is what you referred to or not?
Yes.
Okay. Scrolling down a little bit on that, do you see where you have like Sally Ann Cooper and William Horvath?
Yes.
Beside that, you referenced that you had a contact on 4/23/2025, reason being emailed. You see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
When you reference emailed, what do you mean, I guess, by that?
I sent them an email. Oftentimes folks will call and have questions about the proposal. And so I will generally respond back in writing so they have something to look at.
So then when you said emailed in this instance, you meant you were answering questions for them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now it looks like you include these same individuals a little bit later in the list at 6/25/2025. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
And you said you emailed a revised offer. This was just a part of your, was this just a part of your negotiations with these persons?
Yes, sir. These are unleased mineral owners. So they were asking for an offer and we did provide that.
Okay. Now, on the date, like just a few pages or just a few rows below that for 6/30/2025, you have party listed as multiple. What were you referring to by multiple?
So we sent out notice for this hearing and we included all royalty owners. A good deal of those royalty owners are leased. So they just received the notice as a courtesy. But as you can imagine, someone getting a hearing notice, we had a number of parties that were concerned. And so when I say multiple parties, it was reaching out to those royalty owners and assuring them that they are already leased. And this basically is good news for them because it means they'll have hopefully some more money coming their way once we produce this well.
Okay, now Ms. Stretch, just to provide you a little bit more context of what the division's looking for here. It is within the division's discretion to primarily ask you to provide the emails and those communications for each and every single individual person. So if I were to ask you to provide us with an amended exhibit here that provides a little bit more detail in regards to the persons that were actually being communicated with rather than setting them up as undefined subsets of ownership, and then kind of provide some details as to what those communications was, extremely briefly though, and the current status of those negotiations. Would you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes, so just a more detailed description of exactly what was communicated to each person and the date.
As I'm saying, at this particular point, I'm not asking for the exact details of the communication, but a brief description of of the purpose of that communication and where you're currently at in your negotiations with that person.
Yes, we can provide that. Mr. Examiner, could I ask a question?
Who's speaking?
Probably have your, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
I just asked who's speaking.
I believe it's Ms. Stretcher.
Yes,
Okay.
this is the Stretcher.
Ms.
Yes, sir.
Stretcher, Ms. Stretcher, we don't generally answer questions from witnesses. So you might want to ask your counsel and then let her deal with it. So go ahead and talk to Ms. Vance.
Yeah, if it might be related to just getting clarification on what's required. I'm assuming that that's probably it. And maybe if I can, because I've just touched base with Ms. Kessler as well, just regarding the conversation there, what Mr. McClure is looking for. But I think just to clarify, Mr. McClure would like to see an updated Exhibit C4 that breaks out the communication with just a little bit more detail there, specifically related to what exactly is meant by emailed, which I think Ms. Stretcher did explain on the record, but we can put that in writing in the table there. Similarly, with the follow-up there, to the same two parties, and then just break out the multiple, maybe just identify who the parties are, and then just a general summary of what came out of that, which Ms. Stretcher, again, she stated on the record. We'll just, everything, I think, again, basically what Ms. Stretcher answered, we're just going to add that to this exhibit. So it's in the record there.
Mr.
Correct.
McClure, Mr. McClure, did that sum up what you want?
Mr. Examiner, it does, although I would add the caveat that I didn't actually have Ms. Stretcher identify like who the multiple persons actually were and who the several royalty owners were. And that will need to be included in addition to the verbal testimony from Ms. Stretcher.
Yes, we can break that out and just put the names of the royalty interest owners and put the summary there. Not a problem.
Now, Ms. Stretcher, did that answer your question?
I was just hoping I could provide it today to Ms. Vance so that you would have everything you needed.
Yeah, it's going to take additional review once you submit it, so the case will have to be continued. Mr. McClure, is there anything further?
Mr. Examiner, I have nothing further for this case.
Okay, so Ms. Vance, you know what the division needs and you know it needs further review. So August 7th?
I will be here next Tuesday.
I know you will. We're going to have to cut this off. And this seems to be a lot more than just a little something from Mr. McClure to review. So that window.
I will also be here on July 29th.
Okay, we can do July 29. Sure, you continued the case at July 29. And I hate to ask Mr. McClure, are you the technical reviewer for July 29 also?
July 29, that's the special docket, correct?
It is a special docket, yes.
I think it's going to be both myself and Mr. Fordyce, I believe.
I think you're right.
So yes, long after short, yes.
Sounds good. Okay, so Ms. Vance, July 29.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're off the record in that case. Let's move on to Avant Operating 25434. Entries of appearance, please.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Miguel Suazo with Beatty and Wozniak, appearing on behalf of Coterra Operating, Coterra Energy Operating. Avant was the original applicant, and Coterra since acquired Franklin Mountain and Avant. So in this case, Coterra is requesting an application to approve an extension of 1 year to drill the initial wells in the Emerald FedCom unit under existing order R-23. 267, which required that these wells be drilled by July 24th of this year. This extension, if granted for good cause, would allow Coterra to drill the initial wells by July 24th of 2026. R23267, the order was entered on July 24th and created a non-standard 1,302 acre horizontal spacing unit comprised of all of Section 31, Township 18 South, Range 33 East, and all of Section 6, Township 19 South, Range 33 East in Lee County, and pooled uncommitted interest in the Corbin Bone Spring South Formation. It's comprised of 18 wells that are listed in the land exhibits. The approved order required Coterra to commence drilling by the 24th of this month. They're requesting an extension for good cause as set forth in paragraph 29th of the order due to the acquisition of Franklin Mountain and Avant and other market conditions. The exhibit packet was filed on July 3rd, of this year. Exhibit A is the extension application. Exhibit B is the original pooling order dated July 24th, 2024. Exhibit C is the affidavit of landman Cole Maxwell, who has not previously testified before the division, and his qualifications have not been accepted by the division and made a matter of record, but he is available if you'd like to ask him a few questions.
We'll see if we need him, but it's an extension, so I doubt we will.
Okay. Exhibit C1 is the updated pooling exhibits, and Exhibit C2 is the estimated development plan for each well. Exhibit D is the notice affidavit that indicates that notice letters were mailed on June 19th, 2025 to the addresses of record of the interested parties with mailing receipts, and this was published in the Hobbs News Sun. And with that, I'd like to request that the exhibits be admitted into the record and that these matters be taken under advisement.
Thank you, and without exception. So, Mr. McClure, any questions on this case?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no questions for this case.
Mr. Swasno, we take it under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to Mewbourne Oil. This is case 25435.
Representing Mewbourne.
Thank you.
And Mr. Examiner, Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of Devon Energy Production, and we are just monitoring this case.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bruce.
Mr. Examiner, in this case, Mewbourne seeks to force pool the west half of sections 21, 28, and 33 in 21 south, 35 east for the purpose of drilling its North Wilson Deep Unit well numbers 17, 18, and 19. The usual package of exhibits is submitted. Exhibit 1 is the pooling checklist. Exhibit 2 is the landman's affidavit. The landman is Adriana Salgado Jimenez. Excuse me. Yes. And she contains in her affidavit the usual land plats, listing of interest owners, and those parties being pooled. The only party being pooled is Devon Energy Production Company, LP, which owns a 1/16th interest, a 1/6 interest in all of the wells being drilled under this proposal. Exhibit 3 is the affidavit of the landman, Justin Roeder, contains the usual structure maps and cross sections and the other regular exhibits. Exhibit 4 is my affidavit of certified mailing. It shows that Devon Energy